hospital at the time was, yes, there was another one.
Were there more children that went to one of the founding places than the other?
I don't know. I think in the cases where the mother give the child up, I'm sure they made a decision as to where they went, or they probably, a lot of cases they would go to a church, whether it be a Catholic church or any kind of a church, go to to the minister or the priest and explain, they had a problem, they couldn't care for the child, so the priest or the minister would refer them to an orphanage. And this is kind of how their life began. I mean, they were just short of being homeless, but as far as we know, there was two orphanages that worked with this program, and it started, I think it was in 1800. It run for 50-some years. The orphan train did, and when I say orphan train, there was numerous trains, but the New York orphan train run all over the country, as far west as they say. There was some went into Wyoming, I do believe, but they just worked with an organization on the East Coast that worked the programs.
I wonder though if there was a charge for, because nowadays there would be.
Yeah.
From the train company to charge the orphanage or the people that got the children.
I don't know that.
Yeah.
I would think that somebody had to pay some expense somewhere.
I would think so.
But I guess we've never really talked about it, and that'd be something that we should do some research on.
Yeah.
I guess that's a good question. I don't know that there was. I know the family wasn't charged anything.
Okay.
So whether or not the orphanage had to pay a fee, or the government paid a fee for that rail service, or I don't know. But that is a good question. It's something that,
because there would be food involved.
Mm-hmm.
You would have to feed these
food,
children
medical,
for the whole trip.
A lot of medical.
Yeah.
But I couldn't answer your question in all honesty on that, and that's something that should be part of the history. Somebody had to sponsor it somehow.
Right.
Some of these kids that were in homes and they went to bad homes, do you know if these kids that were abused were taken from their homes and put into another one?
In some cases, I've heard where, and in talking to some of the orphans themselves that were in bad homes, yes, they were sent to a different home, whether it be on their own accord, just running away, or if they had enough sense or something to go to the right people and say, hey, I don't like it there. I want to go someplace else. Mm-hmm. That could have been the case too, but yes, there was some that it did happen to, that they were relocated to a different home because they just couldn't get along with the parents, or they were being abused, being used as farm laborers, and some of the orphans that you talk to and at our meetings, some of those people will tell about their cases where they themselves, they couldn't go any place. The rest of the kids could, but because they were orphans, they had to stay home, do the work, do the laundry, do the house cleaning, do the dishes, or do the cooking, and they tell about that. And so yes, it did happen. You bet.
That's heartbreaking.
Yes, it is. It is very heartbreaking, except that they were given a home.
Right.
That's the nice part of it.
Yeah.
And there again, we didn't really look into it because we were fortunate. Like I said, my mother had a good home.
Mm-hmm.
Were these kids closely monitored under these houses?
I don't think in those days, no, I don't think they were.
Not like today.
I think they were fortunate to be able to find a home for that kid. And there were so many of the kids that, they just didn't have the manpower or the time to monitor them, I think the kids were pretty much on their own and hoped that they had good, good homes.